Every frame is good except the ones you don't like. Is that a fair thing to say, or are some Warframes genuinely just bad? Let me know in the comment section below. So it's been almost 3 years since Yareli was added into Warframe, and when she initially arrived, I didn't exactly have good things to say about her. But if I was to give a proper Irish review of Yareli, it would be she's feckin' shite, lads. I mean, I wasn't wrong, was I? But a lot has changed, and she definitely deserves the recognition for how damn good she is right now. She isn't just a meme frame. Now, I have avoided using her from her release simply because I hated the forced use of her K-Drive. I just didn't find it fun, and I know I wasn't the only one. So, when she was released, she was a bit of a belly flop. Her abilities were a bit lackluster. She relied on a clunky mechanic in riding Marilina for damage reduction. Riding her was cumbersome and annoying in tight corridor tile sets especially. Her damage scaling wasn't great initially either. She just wasn't fun for a lot of players. She ticked a lot of boxes. And that's not to say that she didn't have her enjoyers, right Sabuchi? Because she did. But overall, she was a fish that needed to be thrown back into the deep. Terrible analogy, but just go with it, right? I mean, DE also hinted that she's a sibling of Hydroid, which might also explain my dislike for her. But fast forward to today, and it's a whole new ocean for Yareli. Let's face it, lads, she's no longer shite. Over those 3 years, she has had significant changes, from better damage scaling to more survivability, thanks in part to the health and shield tanking changes that we got a while back, additional augments like Marilina Guardian to heal her Marilina and keep her damage reduction going, but for me, none of these have been more important than the introduction of her latest augment, Loyal Marilina. Now, this augment disables riding Marilina and instead has Marilina follow you and shoot sea snares at enemies to crowd control them, while still giving you the damage reduction that you would have gotten by actually riding her. So the forced K-Drive option is gone if you want it. If you want to actually enjoy this frame and not be forced to jump on that K-Drive, that choice is there. It was probably the biggest stumbling block for a lot of players within the community for Yareli, and thankfully now you can bypass that. Now, since it's been a while since I've touched Yareli, I kind of want to do a really quick recap of her abilities, and I mean quick recap, okay? Sea Snares, her first ability, is where she will shoot water bubbles that seek out enemies, hang them up in the air for you to deal increased damage to them. It gives them a vulnerability. These also deal cold damage, which as a status element is about to get buffs in the Jade Shadows update, so it will be interesting to see if this affects these. Probably won't, but we'll see. Marilina is her second ability, where you will summon her companion that gives you that 90% damage reduction. Marilina has got a health pool. Once it's gone, she will despawn, but you can then just re-summon her if the cooldown is off. Her third ability is Aqua Blades. 3 Aqua Blades will continuously circle Yareli and deal slash damage on enemies that they hit, while also staggering them. These staggers can also open up those enemies to finishers. Now, this is her subsumed ability, so it can be put on other Warframes. Her fourth ability and her ultimate is Riptide. This is, to put it bluntly, just a big grouping ability that also deals cold damage, but it explodes at the end of its duration or manually by casting it again. Detonating it will deal 50% of its overall damage based on the amount of enemies that are still inside it, inside a 15-meter explosion radius. Now, this ability actually works really well with an explosive secondary weapon like the Catchmoon Kit Gun or the Incarnon Angstrom and so on. Now, the Catchmoon especially, since it gains that 200% crit buff that Yareli's passive will give you. My Moo Kit Gun is made up of the Catchmoon Chamber, Love Tap Grip and the Splat Loader, and this is a quick look at its build. Now, this weapon's splash damage inside Riptide, and of course the high critical damage it's thrown out and the high crit chance it's got already, allows it to strip Overguard quickly on Eximus units, which then has those Eximus units being dragged into the Riptide ability, which means more overall crowd control and I guess an easier handling of enemies on the battlefield. Now, like pretty much every build in Warframe, I'm going to say the same thing, right? It's your game, your Warframe, build however the feck you want to. Once you're having fun, that's the main thing. But this is the build that I was going with my Yareli for this footage and how I've set her up. Throwing Power and Power Drift to boost my ability strength significantly. Primed Continuity and Umbral Intensify, which are going to give me more duration and strength, which are kind of the two things that you want with your Yareli. Equilibrium is giving me a balanced health and energy regen gains, especially useful with my Synth Deconstruct mod, which is on my Sentinel. Archon Stretch is going to extend my ability range while also synergizing with Dariga's Arc Coil ability for energy regen. Then we've got Loyal Marilina, Adaptation and Primed Redirection for more survivability, and we've got Blind Rage in there for more damage output. Now, I do need to mention the synergies within this build of Synth Deconstruct and Equilibrium. This combo is going to keep Yareli's energy pool healthy by dropping health orbs from my Sentinel, dealing damage, which will then convert to energy because of Equilibrium, and it's going to keep me basically topped off. Arc Coil and Archon Stretch, like I said. Arc Coil will zap enemies, which will regenerate the energy thanks to Archon Stretch, which then kind of increases the range of my abilities. Then I have got Archon Shards equipped as well. Now, the shards I've got equipped are better casting speed, energy, effectiveness of health orbs, health, and of course, secondary crit chance. You could use whichever Archon Shards you want. These were kind of just ones that I wasn't using at the time. Archon Shards basically allow you to fine-tune your build a little bit and allow you to maybe drop out, give you that freedom to drop out certain mods, like whether it's a flow mod to give you more damage, more duration, more range, or maybe streamline, something like that. So that's why I've gone for this set of Archon Shards. Again, build however you want, but I have been running my Yareli with Roar subsumed onto her first ability for increased damage, and I've been really enjoying it, especially with her Loyal Marilina Augment, which is still casting those sea snares. So Yareli's playstyle now compared to what she was like when she was first released, like I said, it has been a long time since I have looked at her, is a lot more refreshing. It's a lot better than what it was, and if you haven't checked her out since this new augment dropped, then I would definitely recommend getting your hands on Yareli and jumping in and seeing just what she's like and tweaking your build to fit your playstyle. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of Yareli in her current state. Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.